The Florida legislature hasn't even started its regular session yet, but we're learning that the real action may happen later in the year.
Our Capitol Bureau reporter Cody Butler explains there's already a possibility of a second special session on the horizon.
The House is ready to vote on a proposed constitutional amendment to lower property taxes when session begins next week. But it's already looking like they're going to need a special session to get a question before voters in November.
I don't know that it necessarily is something that you do in the regular session either.
Governor Ron DeSantis has been advocating for the elimination of property taxes for Florida homeowners for more than a year.
This is what people are getting pinched on.
The Florida Constitution has property taxes as a way to fund local government and requires voters to make changes in a constitutional amendment. DeSantis hasn't announced his plans to make that happen, so the House has been working on it and came up with 7 potential constitutional amendments. An amendment offering a significant homestead exemption for homes with property insurance is ready for a vote next week.
I was charged by the Speaker to go ahead and make sure that we had something ready by the first week of session. We have done that.
During a news conference in Steinhatchee Wednesday, Governor DeSantis says he isn't rushing a proposal because taxes are complicated and wants to make sure lawmakers get it right.
I think there's some value in teeing something up that the voters see they're going up to do this. And then voters can talk to their members about what they want to do.
Senate President Ben Alberton agrees. In a memo to senators this week discussing an April special session focusing on congressional redistricting, Alberton says he's open to addressing property taxes later. In December, he told reporters he believes in the value of measuring 3 times before cutting.
We are legitimately measuring. We've looked at the House's proposals, and every one of those has a certain amount of cost to it and a certain amount of impact to Floridians.
While state leaders discuss cutting revenue for local governments, many are worried. Dozens have told lawmakers that programs that make their communities different will be cut.
It's a unbalancing of the equation of how we are going to fund local government, and including the discretionary services once we get past those required core essential services, which include public safety, that include senior services.
A House committee is going to meet on Monday to decide what's going to be voted on during the first week of regular session. That starts on Tuesday. In Tallahassee, I'm Cody Butler reporting.
In the Big Bend, Wakulla County already talking about the potential impacts of property tax rollbacks like cuts to parks and libraries. You can look at our full coverage right now on WCTV.tv.